What is VR? Virtual reality is an advanced technology designed to simulate an immersive three-dimensional environment that you can enjoy using PCs, headsets, and controllers that can offer realistic and interactive experiences. The first characteristic of VR is immersiveness. To do so, VR offers a sensory experience usually involving at least sight and hearing. The concept of VR has its roots in the early decades of the 20th century, but it was in the 1960s and 1970s that the first pioneering example of VR emerged. In 1957, Morton Heilig created the Sensorama, considered by many as the first virtual reality machine. In the machine, one could actually experience sensations involving multiple senses, observe stereoscopic moving images, feel wind, vibration, for example on a handlebar, and perceive audio and sense. Between 1965 and 1968, Ivan Sutherland at the University of Utah described the basic concept of a VR device and completed one device in 1968. The unit used two cathode ray tubes, one for each eye, and optical elements to project computer-generated images into the operator's eye. However, the first prototype was so heavy that researchers had to mount it on an arm attached to the ceiling to use it. For this reason, this version was nicknamed the Sword of Damocles. Around 1985, a NASA researcher, Scott Fisher, began working on the hypothesis of coupling head-mounting displays with sensor gloves, further implementing the agency's research into simulation. At that time, flight simulation was, and still now, carried out using screens that remain outside the operator without including them within the representation itself. It is precisely virtual reality with its individual devices that immerse the operators within the visual representation itself, making them an integral and active part of an immersive context. With the advent of the 19th, computer technology made great strides, making VR more accessible to everyone, and the new millennium saw a renaissance of virtual reality thanks to new technological developments. More powerful processors, along with new, lighter headsets with increasing affordable costs, have created the condition for VR as an almost mass technology. There are now many VR headsets on the market, and several companies are aiming for new improvements: a wider view angle, better resolution, lightness in wearability. The field of video gaming has greatly contributed to the development of VR. Over the time, VR has found application in the medical field, in the study of autonomous driving, in safety training, in museography, and in the education to promote learning. In the architecture sector, VR allows the simulation of existing or future scenarios and can be of great help to professionals, replacing physical models with the same functions enhanced by immersiveness. Although VR transports us into worlds that can separate us from reality, with the advent of augmented reality, the goal has become to use the real world as a base on which to overlay digital content. Much of this new development is attributed to the advent of cameras embedded in the smartphones, as well as new headsets. This enables users to enhance their perception and interaction with the surrounding environment, creating interactive and informative experience. In 2009, the navigation application Lyre brought augmented reality to mobile devices, and from 2010, augmented reality became increasingly popular thanks to the widespread use of smartphones and tablets. Apps like Pokemon Go, launched in 2016, led millions of people to interact with virtual objects overlaid in the real world, having more interaction with the surroundings. In recent years, augmented reality has continued to integrate into everyday life through shopping, navigation, and education apps. Lastly, and for now, we mention mixed reality, which combines elements of VR and AR to create an environment where virtual and physical objects coexist and interact with each other. In a mixed reality context, users can view and manipulate digital objects in a three-dimensional way within the real world. Mixed reality has begun to emerge as a distinct category, with companies launching devices such as HoloLens, paving the way for new possibilities of interaction between the virtual and the real in terms of viewing and experiences, engaging content with possible practical application from training for high risk jobs to entertainment and learning.